Asterisk, the moment we launched this game, we thought it was just another weird VHS-style horror. You know the type, grainy footage, a creepy mascot, nothing too crazy. But within seconds it felt wrong. Like the game itself wasn't just playing on my screen, it was looking through it. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll be glad it's me sitting here and not you. Asterisk, let's rewind. It all started on a random Tuesday night. I was scrolling through itch.io, looking for short horror games to try. That's when I saw it, Chimpy Chippa tapes, the thumbnail, a cartoon monkey with this massive grin, almost too wide, like it didn't belong on a kid's mascot. Normally I laugh this stuff off, but something about it felt off, like the smile was stretched just enough to make you uncomfortable. And you know how curiosity works. Once you see something like that, your brain won't let you forget it. So of course I downloaded it. Right away, the screen went black. No intro logos, no title card, just this buzzing, low hum like the static on an old TV left on too long. Then, slowly, a menu fades in. It wasn't a modern menu either. It looked exactly like an old VHS setup. Grainy lines across the screen, that washed-out color palette. The only option blinking at the bottom was play tape. That's it. No settings, no quit button. Just play, and I should have taken that as a warning. But of course I didn't. When the first tape loaded, I actually laughed. It looked like a children's safety video, bright colors, cheerful music, a monkey mascot bouncing on screen saying Chimpy wants to be your friend, but even in those first 30 seconds, I could feel something was wrong. The colors weren't vibrant, they were too saturated, like they'd been burned into the tape. Cheerful music, slightly distorted, like the notes were dragging, and Chimpy's face, oh my God, it was just a mascot, right, but his smile twitched, not once, not as a glitch, but like he was struggling to hold it. Like he was alive in there. I remember saying out loud, nope, nope, this thing is cursed. Chat was already spamming monkey emojis, people saying, bro, don't do it. This is how horror movies start. But curiosity always wins. So I stayed, and the longer I stared, the more uneasy I felt. You know that gut feeling when you walk into a room and you know someone's behind you. That's what the game was doing, and I swear, I wasn't alone in that room anymore. The game instructed me to learn about Chimpy's favorite foods. Cute, right? So I click, bananas, pizza, candy. Usual kid-friendly stuff. But then, when I hovered over one of the icons, the whole screen glitched. For just a second, Chimpy's cartoon eyes turned hollow, black sockets. I thought maybe I imagined it, but then it happened again, and this time the screen didn't correct itself right away. It lingered, long enough for me to feel my heart stop. This wasn't a kid's mascot anymore. This was something else pretending to be one. I tried to back out of the menu, maybe reset the game, but here's the thing, the exit button was gone. The screen flickered, the tape crackled, and Chimpy's head tilted just a little too far, and then, in this distorted, warped voice he said, "Play with me." That was the moment I knew this was going to get bad, but we had no idea just how bad it was about to get. Asterisk, so there we were locked in. The only button left on screen was play tape, and I swear, the way it flickered, it wasn't just a menu option anymore. It felt like an invitation, like the game was waiting for us to say yes. Of course, we clicked it, and that's when everything changed. At first, it looked like some innocent corporate training video. You know the type, welcome to Chimpy Chippa's Pizza, with the upbeat music and the goofy narrator voice. But the quality was wrong, grainy edges, sound dropping in and out. The footage looked old, like it had been copied over 100 times. And then Chimpy appeared again, bright, cartoon eyes, big goofy grin, except when the tape stuttered. For just one frame, the eyes weren't cartoon anymore. They were real. Asterisk, we tried to laugh it off like, okay, it's just one of those creepy indie games trying to mess with us. But the tape kept playing. It showed employees walking kids through the arcade, balloons in the background, everyone smiling, except the smiles weren't right. Their mouths were wide, their eyes glassy. Chimpy wants you to have fun, over and over and over, with each Loop, the voice distorted more until it didn't sound human at all, and then something happened that made my blood run cold. The video asked a question. On screen, in giant VHS letters, it said, "Will you play with Chimpy?" Two options appeared, yes and no. Naturally, I hovered over no because I'm not signing up for Monkey Demon Daycare, but when I clicked, the screen glitched. It forced us onto yes, like we didn't even have a choice. Suddenly, the cheery music cut out. The tape transitioned into a hallway shot long, buzzing fluorescent lights. The kind of hallway that feels endless, and here's the creepy part. The camera wasn't fixed anymore. I could move it. That's when it clicked. This wasn't just a cutscene. The tape wasn't showing us something, it was pulling us inside, and with each step, the hum of the lights got louder, distorted, like something was waiting at the end of that hall. Then we heard it. Footsteps, slow, heavy, echoing against the walls. I froze, literally hands off the keyboard, holding my breath. My chest felt tight, like I was standing in that hallway myself, and as we inched forward, the screen glitched again just for a second. And Chimpy was there, at the far end, just standing, watching, but when the tape flickered back, the hallway was empty. Chat went crazy at this point, spamming RUN, get out, nope, nope, nope. But here's the thing, there was nowhere to go. The game wouldn't let us turn around. The only way was forward. So, heart pounding, we kept walking, lights buzzing, footsteps behind us now, closer, louder, and just as I was about to look over my shoulder, the screen cut to static. Loud, ear-piercing static. When the static cleared, the tape was different. No more hallways. Now it was just a black screen with Chimpy's face filling it. His mouth twitched, his head tilted. And then, in the most guttural, broken voice I've ever heard, he whispered, "Don't stop." And that's when we realized the tapes weren't showing us the past. They were showing us what was about to happen. Asterisk, the tape had just gone black. Chimpy's face filled the screen. Hollow eyes, twitching smile, whispering, "Don't stop." And the second those words left his mouth, the screen shifted. We weren't in the hallway anymore. We were in a room. And we were trapped. Asterisk, the room was empty at first glance. 4 walls, peeling wallpaper, flickering overhead bulb. It looked like an abandoned daycare, but stripped bare. And then, written across the wall in messy, dripping letters, "Chimpy sees you. Not sees me, not the player. You," like it knew who was actually watching. Asterisk, the audio was the worst part. I thought it was just background hum until I noticed the rhythm. It wasn't static. It was breathing. Deep, slow, right behind us. So naturally, I spun the camera around and nothing. Just the corner of the room. Empty, but the breathing didn't stop. It got louder, then the lights flickered. Once, twice, and on the third flicker, he was there. Chimpy, not the goofy cartoon, not the mascot. This thing, its fur was patchy, its jaw too long, and its limbs were wrong. Too stretched, too sharp. And the second I saw him, the screen glitched, and he was gone again. Chat exploded. People screaming in all caps, "He's behind you, run." And that's when the first chase began. Asterisk, the walls started closing in, the wallpaper tearing itself off, the whole room stretching like rubber. And suddenly, the game gave us control again. One door appeared on the far side, just one. So we ran, but with every step, his laugh echoed. That broken, guttural laugh like static mixed with animal growls. Louder and louder until I couldn't even hear my own footsteps anymore. What's wild is the game synced itself to my heartbeat. Every time my heart thumped, the screen pulsed, dimming and brightening. I thought it was coincidence, but then I noticed. When I held my breath, the pulsing slowed. This wasn't just horror design. This thing was listening to me, and the moment I gasped for air, Chimpy's laugh got louder, closer, like he was feeding off the sound. We finally burst through the door, sprinting down another hallway, lights flashing, alarms blaring, and then silence. Dead silence. I turned the corner, and there he was, standing perfectly still, right in the center of the hall, his head tilted, his grin stretching wider with each second. I froze, mouse in hand, not daring to move, and then the lights cut out, total black. When they flickered back on, the hallway was empty again, or so I thought. Asterisk, I looked around, panic setting in, searching for where he went. Then I glanced at the reflection in a cracked window nearby. And there he was, right behind me. I didn't even scream, I couldn't. My chest locked up, my brain short-circuited. I just bolted forward, hoping to outrun him. And that's when the screen tore apart, like the tape itself was melting. And we dropped into another scene, the static cleared, and suddenly we were standing in a control room. Screens lining the walls, each one showing a different angle of the pizzeria. And on every single screen, Chimpy was there. Sometimes at the tables, sometimes in the halls, sometimes staring directly into the camera. But one screen froze, glitched, and it was showing my room, not the game, not the pizzeria. My actual webcam feed, asterisk, the screen froze on my own room, my chair, my desk, even the soda can sitting next to me. At first, I thought maybe OBS bugged out, maybe the game was reading my camera feed. But then I realized my webcam wasn't even plugged in. Yeah, that's when the panic really set in, asterisk. I tried to exit the game. Alt plus F4, escape, Control plus Alt plus delete. Nothing worked. Every time I tried, the game laughed, literally laughed. That same guttural, broken cackle, but this time it wasn't coming from the game audio. It was coming from my speakers. Raw, uncompressed. Like it was in the room with me, asterisk. Then the game crashed, or at least it looked like it did. My screen went black, then a Windows error popped up. File corrupted, Chimpy needs you. The only button to click was OK, so against every instinct screaming at me not to, I clicked it, and instantly the game booted itself back up, except this time the menu was gone, no VHS, no static, just one single message across the screen: you belong to me now. We were still in the control room, screens buzzing, images flickering between the pizzeria, the hallways, and me. But here's the thing: on one of the monitors, Chimpy wasn't in the game anymore. He was in my reflection, standing behind me. I whipped around in real life, half expecting to see him there. Empty room, nothing. But when I turned back to the game, Chimpy was gone from the monitor, like he had just walked away. And then my mouse moved, not my hand. The cursor slid across the screen by itself, hovering over the control panel in the game. Buttons lit up on their own, cameras switching automatically, and I swear to you, the cursor spelled it out. It dragged across the screen, slow and deliberate, forming three letters: RUN. I didn't even have time to process it before the alarms blared. Every monitor went red, and on all of them Chimpy was sprinting. Suddenly, the control room door slammed open on screen. Chimpy rushed in, his limbs bending unnaturally, his jaw hanging loose. I panicked, trying to run my character, but the game froze. The only thing moving was Chimpy, crawling closer, frame by frame. I tried smashing keys, moving the mouse, anything, and nothing worked. And then the game whispered again, not from the speakers this time, from my headset. You can't escape. I finally managed to Alt-tab out, desperate to just shut the whole thing down. But when I checked my desktop, new files had appeared, dozens of them, each one labeled Chimpy Chippa 1, Chimpy Chippa 2, Chimpy Chippa 3. I clicked one. It opened a text document. Inside, nothing but the words, "I see you." Every single file said the same thing, except the last one. That one just said, "Turn around." Asterisk, I froze. Literally just sat there, hands shaking on the keyboard. Chat was screaming at me to look behind me. But I couldn't. I just couldn't. Finally, I built up the courage. I turned my character around in-game, and the room was empty. No Chimpy, no monitors, just darkness. Then the screen filled with static, and through the distortion, one phrase appeared: "Too late." Asterisk, the game cut to black, silence, and then, without me clicking anything, another tape began to play. The final tape, and this one would change everything. The screen flickered back on, and there it was, the final tape. Bold white letters across the screen: "Do not watch," which, of course, meant we had no choice. The tape loaded into a grainy black screen. A timer appeared in the corner, starting at 10:00. Every tick of the countdown echoed like a heartbeat, and then the camera panned across a dark, empty pizzeria. Tables overturned, arcade machines smashed, streamers hanging like cobwebs. It looked abandoned, but something was moving in the shadows. The timer ticked down. 09:45, 09:30. With every passing second, the sound of scratching grew louder, like nails on metal, circling closer. The tape wanted us to wait, to sit there, helpless, while Chimpy got closer, and it was working. My chest was tight, palms sweating, every instinct screaming at me to shut it off. But we didn't. We couldn't. Finally, the camera jerked toward the stage, and there he was, Chimpy, but not just one. Dozens of him. Every table, every booth, every corner of the pizzeria. Copies of Chimpy, all staring at the camera, all grinning. And in unison, their mouths opened wide and whispered, "Play." Asterisk, the timer plummeted. 00, 10:00, 05. I swear, I could hear my own heart over the game. Chat was spamming nope faster than I could even read. Then, as it hit 0, silence. Every Chimpy on screen turned their head toward me, and the game crashed, leaving only one new file on my desktop, named Last Play. Asterisk, cut to black. Beat of silence. End of section 5. We should have left it alone. Deleted the game, burned the hard drive, something. But curiosity always wins. So, we opened the file. It was another video, but not gameplay this time. It was footage of me sitting right there in my chair, from an angle I don't even have a camera set up. And over the video, Chimpy's voice whispered, "You're part of the tape now." Asterisk, suddenly my screen went white. Piercing static shot through my headphones, and for a split second, just a single frame, Chimpy's face filled my entire monitor, jaw unhinged, eyes hollow, screaming, and then silence. The game closed, no files left, no trace of Chimpy on my system. It was like he was never there. But I swear, when I glanced at my reflection in the dark monitor, I thought I saw him standing behind me. So yeah, it's safe to say we're never opening that game at night again. But the question is, should we? Should we open it one last time and see what happens if Chimpy really comes through? Because if he's still waiting in there, we may not make it out a second time.